Hello! Welcome, one and all, to the very first pilot debut episode of the Phizcast. I'm your host, Physic, and you know what? I don't really know where this is going to go. It's been running through my head for the past month, or more than that, even, really. It's been running through my head for a long time just to come out and say things for anyone to listen to. And I don't really know where I'm going to go with it. But, you just kind of gotta let the brain run wild sometimes. Gotta let it run wild sometimes. And I feel like that's hard for me to do. Like right now, especially. I'm so nervous, and for no real good reason. I don't really know. There's no one here. There's no one else here but me, talking into a microphone, and yet I'm still flustered at the thought of doing this. But it's a new experience, I guess. Us humans aren't exactly acquainted to new experiences. We're not known to be fearless in going out and doing things unless, you know, you make it look like you're not. But everyone has some sort of fear. Everyone has some sort of fear when going and doing something new, even if you mask it really, really well. But massive historical figures, Amelia Earhart, who just flew over the Atlantic solo, just right on and did it. Guarantee there was some fear, and I guarantee there was fear in the beginning and all the way through it, but it was overshadowed by her confidence and her ability to, and her confidence in her abilities to be able to do it, and she did. Now she's in the history books. And I suppose that's kind of what you need, what you want when it comes to doing new things. You know? And it's not so much that you need to have the ability to do it, because not everyone's born a professional. You can't see a baby come out and do some of the things that would consider professional or crazy, unless, it's being a baby, being a professional baby, which, I mean, there's actor babies, that's pretty much professional. They're getting paid. But, it takes practice. And obviously there's some sort of talent involved, right? There's talent involved. Some people are going to be better at some things than others, just by natural born ability. But there are also people who just work harder at it. And when you work at it, you get more confidence. And you can use that confidence to go out and do whatever you want. I don't know. I don't want to just be out here and ramble either about random philosophical questions. Not even philosophical, just spewing out information that you see on self-help articles. But I don't know. I feel like it also has to be fun. What you want to do also has to be fun. It can't just be because you want to be in the books, you want to have your name out there. It can't just be because of that. You have to have some sort of passion in it. Otherwise, it's just going to be you being a husk of faked ability, or you're putting all this time into something that isn't going to benefit you, and isn't going to help you, other than it's just going to put your name in the books, or you're going to try at least. And then what if you don't get there, right? It's all that for nothing. And it didn't have any substance in to begin with, because you had no stake in the game. You just didn't want to do it, but you forced yourself to. And that's no good. I'm here because I want to be here. I've wanted to be here for a really long time. And it just took me buying a couple resources to get it, and, building myself up to do it. But I'm not going to put this on the internet. A lot of people say this, and it's you just want to be on the internet to get big, to be the Markipliers, to be the PewDiePies, get all these subscribers and all these people that know you and love you and watch you and want to be like you. And that's a really good thing to want to be, right? It's good to want to be a role model or want to have your name out there. That's totally fine. Everyone, I'm sure, at one point has wanted their 15 minutes of fame. And I'm sure many more have wanted a lot more than 15 minutes. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It begins with the first step, more importantly. And in order to do that, you got to will yourself up to do it. And the first step begins the rest of the journey. Now, of course, it's like anything else. You don't have to go all the way. You don't have to. A lot of people choose to, and if that's your goal, that's totally fine, but it's it's gonna have its fair share of challenges. And, but it all just depends on how much you want it or, you know, encouragement, self-encouragement, encouragement from others, a lot of stuff like that. It really depends. But, after you make it that 1,000 miles, you feel really, really accomplished and really good about yourself. And then you can just keep walking because you really get good at walking after 1,000 miles. But it all started with the very first step. And I feel like that's important to notice. A lot of people overlook the fact that, like, some people just want to start at the end. They want to start big. They want to start with all of this pre-recognized ability and all this, uh, what's the word? I don't really know. All of this recognition before them. They want to already be there. But if you start at the end, you really won't know where to go from there. You'll be thrown into something that you're completely unaware of and that you really don't know how to handle. And so, if you start at the beginning with that first step and build your way up to the middle and the end and so on, you get a lot more experience and you get a lot more ability to handle yourself and use every single step to make yourself better, to make your ability better in whatever it is you're going to do. And for me, I hope that's what I'm here for. I just want to use all these steps that I take to get better in the end. And I think that it'll work rather well as so long as I put my mind to it, you know. It took me a while to get here at all for a couple of reasons, really. Number one, I was a bit nervous in doing it in the first place. Number two, I was a bit short-handed in the fact that I don't really like spending money, but who does? Well, spending money that isn't yours is fine, but it's hard to let go of it for something else because it feels like it's a lot. But thirdly, I didn't really have a place to do it. But I don't know. I looked, I bought, I found. I am here now with all the resources that I've accrued from here to there, and here I am taking the first step. And all the steps that I take from now on, I feel, are really, really important to what is going to be the end goal. And the end goal, I don't really know what that is, but you never really do. If you know what the end goal is at the very beginning, it's good to have goals. It's always good to have goals. But if you know exactly what you want and refuse to take any other alternative, I feel like that is where it gets a bit dangerous. Because you sort of push out all of the other experiences that you could have in order to achieve this one thing. And instead of making yourself more knowledgeable and expanding upon the journey that you're taking, or like branching off a little bit, getting distracted. If you only beeline towards the one thing that you want and then you get it, you'll feel a little bit empty when you get there. Of course, there'll be that monumental rejoice of achieving a lifelong goal or something like that. But when you get there, I feel it'll be a bit empty. I would think, at least, because like, where do you go from there? I've certainly had those moments like where I've peaked in, as small of an example as it is, not even comparable to life, but like in games. When you beat the game, where do you go from there? Well, you try and 100% it. You try and get every little thing that you can do. Then you do it. You go out and do it, have fun doing it. And then what then? I mean, I suppose you could try and get really, really good, like, speed running or whatever. But even then, it's just doing one thing after that. And I'm sure you get bored of just one single goal. And so that's why I think it's good to have, a set of things that you want to do so that you don't just beeline for one thing your whole life. And once you get there, you don't know where to go. But yeah, I'm hoping that's not where I get. I feel like the goal that I have in mind is not a particular end. It doesn't really have an end. This is kind of what I want to do for a living, perhaps, but maybe not on YouTube or whatever, but, somewhere. I enjoy talking. and I enjoy conversation. And even though it's not, a conversation sort of takes two people, I can still, you know, have fun talking with myself or kind of just spewing out ideas, which is what this is for. A good place to go to just talk or vent or inspire. And that third one's really what I hope to do. I don't just want to be here without any purpose. I want to be here to inspire others to go after what they want. And all it really takes is a first step. I mean, yeah, that's 10 minutes. That's a pretty good amount of time, I think, for the first episode. I think I covered the base that I wanted to, in the sense that, like, you just got to get out there. I hope I didn't get too off topic, given this is my first time, but not everyone's born an expert. Well, thanks for tuning in. I suppose this is all for me for now. See you when I see you. Bye-bye.